Hello viewers and students.
Today we will learn about microscopic and macroscopic properties. What are these micro and macroscopic properties? Let's start. So beginning with the microscopic properties, the term microscopic refers to the anything that is invisible to the naked eyes. Therefore, the microscopic properties refer to the properties of matter at microscopic level, which is 10 power minus 6 meter or more, that is molecular level or nano level, which is 10 power minus 9 meter. And the example of microscopic properties can be taken as molecular motion of gas. It can be rotational motion, or translation motion, or linear motion of its molecules, or you can say the particles of the gas. In a very similar way, the macroscopic properties can be said as you can see here, the term microscopic refers to anything that is visible to the naked eyes. Therefore, the large-scale characteristic or properties of any system is referred to as macroscopic properties. And the best example for such properties can be taken as pressure, temperature of a gas. It can be volume, it can be anything more, which can be taken in a bulk and which can be taken in on the whole on a full capacity, and that can be said as a macroscopic properties. There is a variation of behavior in matter in the properties of matter from micro to macro, and what we see on the whole is that macroscopic things are very different when compared to microscopic things, and that is a key to the thermodynamics, that is a good key to the physics, that is key to the any scientific approach you wanted to go through it. So in a way that we already discussed, the pressure, temperature are macroscopic, where the kinetic motion of a gas are said to be microscopic. And you can see that a chamber is composed of a gas in which you are applying some amount of heat. And when we see the complete package of the gas or on a complete scale, then you will only find that pressure and temperature are the relevant properties of a gas, or pressure and temperature are the relevant characteristic of a gas. But when we monetarily observe the gas at any point, then we will find that there are a bunch of molecules, bunch of particles, and they are roaming here and there. They are having different velocity. They maybe have vibration motion. They maybe have kinetic motion, linear motion, rotary motion, any such motion. And when so these smaller motions of a gas or smaller properties of a molecules is said to be macroscopic properties. So you can see the macroscopic quantity is pressure and temperature, where the microscopic quantity is kinetic motion of atoms, velocity, momentum, etc. Now here is a very important graph you can see, which can be easily differentiate between macroscopic scale and microscopic scale. And you can see as we approach towards macroscopic scale, the graph tends to become very smooth, and it is very deterministic in behavior. You can predict the property of any gas, you can predict any physical property with the help of macroscopic scale if you have a macroscopic approach. But when we go towards left side, you can see there is a microscopic scale, and the graph tends to become zigzag in nature, and you can see the zigzag nature is increasing, and the graph is showing too much of variation, and that's why we have a probabilistic approach. So that is a very important in case of macroscopic and microscopic approach. And at the very nano level, or at the very atomic level or below that level, the world is totally different, just a probabilistic in nature. And that's why you will find that a Schrodinger's experiment and lots of discussion between Einstein and Bohr regarding the behavior of the matter. And but at the macroscopic approach, the behavior of matter is very deterministic. Here, it is at that place where Newton and Einstein has worked. But most of the physicists came from this approach, and deterministic behavior, and where Newton and Einstein worked. And from there on, at the microscopic level, you will find that very few scientists have worked, and or the prediction, the behavior of matter is very difficult to predict. And that's why we don't have a concrete theory. Only the quantum theory is the quantum state of a matter, or quantum theory is being represented as a probabilistic behavior of a matter. So all in all, you have a two different approaches, macro and micro. Both are very important to us and very relevant to us. Or you can say that, but what today's scientists say, that the nature is intrinsically designed in a probabilistic behavior. And so the natural behavior of matter is at a microscopic scale, but we humans tend to see only macro level, or you can see we live at that scale, so we don't find this probabilistic behavior at our level. And that's why Einstein's famous quote has been said that God doesn't want to play the dice, because he doesn't believe that matter behaves in a probabilistic manner. But now there is a concrete proof that the behavior of electron, proton, neutron, or even atom is very different when we go at this level. And you can see the graph, there is a complete fluctuation in it. Now here is the differentiation between microscopic and macroscopic, how one is going to differentiate between macroscopic properties and microscopic properties. And you can see that in macroscopic we go through an overall behavior of the matter, whereas in microscopic approach we go through the structural knowledge of the matter, a structural knowledge of that physical properties and how it is being composed of. And it is very difficult to know these things, and it's a rigorous research is going on, that the behavior of matter changes considerable amount from macro to micro. You can see that a few properties can be needed. Just a pressure, temperature, volume is needed to know the property of a gas. But at micro level, large number of variable is needed. That's why there is a need for statistical thermodynamics in case of microscopy. And so again a very difficult approach, statistical thermodynamics. So going through in microscopic approach, properties like pressure, temperature can be calculated easily, but the properties like velocity, momentum can never be calculated easily in microscopy. And there is at macro level we get an average property of any molecule, any system. But property of in micro level we get the each, and the properties of are defined for each molecule. So you can see it's a very difficult approach. Now coming to the very important part, which is energy, how energy is being differentiated at macroscopic and microscopic level. At macroscopic, the kinetic energy that can be said as the system possesses a result of its motion related to some reference frame, and it is given as half mv square, where m is the mass of the system, v is the velocity. And in a similar way, potential energy can be taken as the energy that a system possesses as a result of its elevation in a gravitational field, and can be given as potential energy equals to mgz or mgh. So these are two macroscopic form of energies. But in microscopic level, it can be said as the internal energy, which is the energy of the system. And this energy of the system is composed of vibrational, translational, linear motion of its molecule or properties. So the total energy of a system can be said as sum of microscopic energy, which is U, and this U is a function of its absolute temperature. As the temperature increases, this microscopic form of energy also increases, plus macroscopic form of energy, which is the kinetic energy and potential energy of the system. So all in all, the total energy of the system is the sum of microscopic energy and macroscopic energies. Thanks. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any question, you can comment on the comment box. Thank you.